A massive Dogecoin spike coming. Take a look at the chart. As we see, this green line shows where it is right now, and you scroll back and you start to see where this comes from. All the way down, all the way up, right in the middle approximately is where that green line is. That's one of the most bullish signals you can possibly see in all of cryptocurrency. You combine that with the fact that we have seen a bit of a downward trend from Dogecoin, from cryptocurrency altogether in general in a lot of aspects. But that downward trend combined with the news, it's kind of still following that same exact trend, and that does look like something we're about to see a big breakout coming. I would not be surprised at all to see Dogecoin start to break out here. I'm not just going to be not surprised. I'm expecting that to happen. I think Dogecoin right now, because we've seen all the factors that caused it to spike in the first place. Elon Musk, we've seen more and more companies starting to accept it. The transaction fees being significantly lower. The community continuing to support and support and support. Huge news coming out all across the board. We do know the moon landing is still coming. All of these things to look forward to. The same exact reason it went up here in the first place is still in place. It's not going anywhere. And the future catalyst, the moon landing, is way bigger than the SNL skit. Elon Musk accepting it for Tesla is way bigger than Elon tweeting about it. And so if that can cause it to go up to 75 cents, then how in the world could these future catalysts, which are way bigger, not cause something similar? You combine that with the chart. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be unbelievably optimistic in Dogecoin right now based on the chart, based on all the things we're seeing. As also, the Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin coming out and saying that there's no malevolent intent behind Elon Musk's support for Dogecoin, and that is in fact true. Elon stating he does own some Dogecoin and he has no intention to ever sell it. I don't think he ever will, and that's actually kind of interesting because it's a similar situation to what Vitalik Buterin is in right now when it comes to Shiba Inu coin. He decided to sell some of it and donate it to charity, which I thought, okay, you can do that, right? But you should definitely let people know first. He didn't let anyone know, which basically means he's choosing what charity to go to. So that's, it's something to consider. Maybe just let people know if you're going to do something like that. But he is now coming out and saying this nice thing about Dogecoin and Elon Musk. So we do appreciate that. I think Vitalik Buterin has to be moved up to the good side again. Welcome back. Welcome back. You're on our good side once again. As we're also seeing the transaction fees for Dogecoin continuing to be low. And that's one of the reasons why Dogecoin continues to be underrated. Most people look at it and see meme. Most people look at it and see joke. And those two things are absolutely applicable to Dogecoin, but that's not even close to the full picture. That's just the tip of the iceberg. You start to look down deeper and you see the devs working on it around the clock. You start to look down deeper and you see the incredible community. You start to look at this. The transaction fee significantly lower. Value transacted in the last 24 hours, 1.93 billion. As we're also seeing some other interesting stats, 1.956 is the total supply billion. 12956. 129 billion. All-time low, or the low for the last 24 hours is 3.1 and the high is 3.6. So we have still continued to see a lot of movement up and down. By the way, if you want to go check out the BitBoy Crypto interview I did, you're welcome to do so. I thought it was a pretty good one. We talked about Ethereum, Dogecoin, and other things in that interview and kind of the future of cryptocurrency and what we think is going to happen with it. Will it continue to go up or will it crash? If you want to see more on that, you're welcome to go watch that and subscribe with notifications on. That's the way to go. By the way, welcome everyone coming into the chat. Go ahead and give it a like. What are you waiting for? Go down there, press the like one time, and help this video get out to as many people as possible, because we want to see that happening, of course. But here is a big article coming out. Why gold is better as an investment than Bitcoin, despite cryptocurrency's recent dominance, according to SOC Gin. So now we're starting to see articles like this come out. The audacity, the amount of silliness to say something like that. I think it's time to pull the roast music. We don't have a choice. We gotta go ahead and roast them a little bit here. So basically what they are saying is that gold, which a lot of people are getting scammed on daily. You see the commercials coming out, they upcharge you massively. You cannot find the same price here versus the same price there. You don't know what to do. Are you gonna buy a gold coin or do you perhaps want a gold bar? It's hard to know, it's hard to figure out. You can't spend it easily online. You actually have to take it physically somewhere, which takes up more energy to do all those things. You have to melt it down. So much effort when you could just have the same exact value proposition when it comes to cryptocurrency. Way easier to buy and so much more potential moving forward. So why in the world would an article like this actually come out? Well, it's simple. The banks and other people in institutional positions of power don't want to see cryptocurrency taken over. They would prefer that people just stick with good old-fashioned gold. Gold, however, is not a good investment long-term when you compare it to cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency, I believe, has the potential to take a huge percentage of gold's future market cap. Will gold drop massively? Almost certainly not. I think gold will still continue to steadily go up over time, but it's going to go up significantly slower than it would have without cryptocurrency. So much so to the point where you may even actually lose money on it when you compare that to what you could be doing if you're just holding it in a bank with a normal interest rate, or if you were holding it in USDT and staking your coins, or if you had another cryptocurrency and were staking your coins. It doesn't even really make sense at this point to hold gold anymore. Let me read a couple of these chats. The chats are once again working. Love your videos, still hodl to the moon from Odd Sheep coming in. I like that name, Odd Sheep, but thank you so much for the chat. What's up, Matt? Did you get your coin yet? From Josh Combs. I need to check the mail. Apparently what actually happened is, so it got too full because we were too busy making videos. Matt, you gotta check the mail. You gotta do it. I forgot for too long to check the mail. It got too full. I believe they took it to the actual office. I need to call and get it. It's gonna be a whole thing, unfortunately. But that's what we get for focusing too much on Dogecoin and cryptocurrency and neglecting the mail. You know what? I think we already did the roast music once. We have to do it again. For me, we have to roast Matt Wallace. The mail. What were you thinking, Matt Wallace? The mail. It's only a few steps away. You could have just gone down your driveway and gotten it, but instead you didn't. And look at the consequences of that. Now you actually have to go and call the mail office. What the heck are you doing? Josh Combs sent you a coin and now you can't receive it for a few more days, unfortunately. So what's the deal with that, Matt? Absolutely a roast coming in, as we're seeing a huge chat coming in. 2 huge chats. Wow. Okay. Big Hadrid 22 coming in with a big chat. Thank you so much. As well, another one here says, bought 4,500 Doge last night on the dip. 13,555 Doge. Nice. Let's go from Scott Goldberg. I like the sound of that. A lot of people still continuing to buy into this dip, and I think that could be one of the smartest decisions that you could ever possibly consider making. And the reason why I say consider making, I don't know. Someone let me know. Am I allowed to just say that's a smart decision? Because I think it's probably a smart decision. Am I allowed to say that? Someone let me know. I feel like I probably am, but I'm scared because all the other, like everyone says, like you're not supposed to say that. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter, to be honest. I mean, who really cares? Like, don't sue me, please. I'm just an innocent YouTuber. Don't sue me. Don't sue me for saying I think it's probably a good investment. I mean, technically, we're careful. We always make sure to bring up the point that the government, if they try to do something that could cause it to crash because people don't really understand what that means, or it could cause, if the whales start to sell, that could cause a crash. So we talk about that stuff too. But putting that aside for a sec, because that's a small chance of happening. Look at the price of Dogecoin right now. I mean, how can you not look at that and say, oh my gosh, your eyes turn into little heart emojis and pop out of your head? That's basically what happens when you look at the Dogecoin chart right now. If you're Matt Wallace. Dogefather coming in just to say not financial advice and you're good. Okay, that's all I gotta say. All right, Dogecoin is probably a fantastic investment, not financial advice. Did we do it right? SEC, please don't come for us. SEC, they're probably waiting outside the door right now. The second I walk out, they're saying, all right, you're under arrest. You didn't say not financial advice fast enough. I'm sorry, SEC. What do you want me to do? Should I have said it 1 second faster? If Matt doesn't come on the live tomorrow, it's because the SEC got me. That's what happened. That is what happened. As we're seeing, Elon Musk says he supports cryptocurrency in a battle with fiat money, like government-backed coins and bills. Let me go ahead and show you the tweet that he made right here. So he responded, yo, Elon, what do you think about the peeps who are angry at you because of crypto? You shouldn't be angry, Elon, because of crypto. I mean, if you are, then that probably means you bought before all of the news came out in regards to Elon no longer accepting a Bitcoin at Tesla. Before the news came out with China, you probably bought before that came out, and I guess it makes sense, but don't be mad specifically at Elon. Be mad at yourself for not subscribing with the notifications on to channels that can give you information like this one, for example. Make sure to do that, because I told people ahead of time the second that China news came out. I was one of the first people to report about the Elon Musk Bitcoin news as well. We got some speedy times here that can help to make decisions. Also on Twitter, that's normally the fastest place, because I will tweet out unbelievably fast. Matt Wallace 88 on Twitter. Notifications on there. Extremely important, because you'll get a lot of that information ahead of time. Not all of it, obviously, because Matt does sleep sometimes, but you'll still get a lot of it. Bought Dogecoin at 0.0026, 200,000 coins in 2019 from Mr. Patel. What do you think? Should I sell it? Now, personally, I would not sell it if I were you, and I So I have more coins than you, and I'm not selling it right now. Not to say you still have a lot of coins. That's awesome, but I'm not selling right now. I hope it goes back up to the 20-cent range so I can buy more. Oh, nice, from CRX Joe. I like the sound of that as well. Oh wait, actually no, I don't. What am I saying? You want it to go down to the 20-cent range so you can buy more. CRX Joe, no, get out of here, CRX Joe. What the heck? We come on, CRX. You've been leaving a lot of awesome chats. We all love you here, but no, get out of here with that. Dogecoin going down to 20 cents is not something that I think would be a positive thing. If you want to buy more, I mean, it's at 35 cents right now. That's a 15-cent difference. I think it would be better for all of us to be rooting for it to go up, which I think has a significantly higher chance of happening, especially based on the chart. If you haven't seen yet, if you just came into live, basically look at the line where it currently is at compared to where it was at the all-time low this month and the all-time high this month. And you start to get an idea really of what is going on here. All-time low, all-time high, not all-time low, all-time high. You know what I mean. The low and the high right here in this part of the chart is right in the middle of where the line is, basically showing that's where the levels of support are strongest. And we know it has the ability to do that run up again. So let's continue to be excited about this. We shouldn't be hoping it goes down to 20 cents. Talk about Shiba Coin from Little Dite. So Shiba Coin is one that I have not chosen to invest in. I don't currently own any Shiba Coin. And part of that is because it was worrying to see what was going on around it with Vitalik Buterin and how he owned 50%. Now, though, he is burning that. He's burning a large percentage of it. Will he actually follow through? I guess that's a question mark. It depends on what he wants to do. Maybe at some point in the future, he'll change his mind. So it's still a little bit questionable because that's just so much money for one person to have control over. I don't think it's as bad as it was, though, about a month ago. And the reason why is because the information has changed a little bit. It's no longer as scary, but it still is scary, and that's why I'm not currently investing in it. Why the huge spike? How much of a spike and the time frame? So basically time frame, we're looking at the next couple of months that we could see Dogecoin going up above $1. If we see a spike, the likes of which we saw with the last spike, then it could absolutely hit $1 and even go potentially a good bit above that. We're going to look for a Cardano-like spike from Dogecoin. Or an Ethereum-like spike would probably be a better reference because right now Dogecoin and Cardano have a similar market cap. Nobody cares about Shiba, Doge to the moon. Shiba, I mean, that's the truth. That's to some degree. I mean, the amount of people that care about Shiba is so much smaller than the amount of people that care about Doge. But nonetheless, if people want to talk about it, we'll talk about it because we don't just talk about Doge here. We do talk about other cryptos as well. Dixon Sign Company bought the dip. I like that from Sherrod. That's pretty cool. Just wondering your opinion on Ripple XRP. They are behind Zelle and want instant money transfers for banks all over the world. Doge and XRP should be in everyone's portfolio. Let's go ahead and take a look at XRP right now. And we'll compare it to Dogecoin on the chart here because there's a couple of things to consider when it comes to XRP. XRP does have pretty dang good transaction fees that are extremely low. Lower than Dogecoin actually, but not by a big enough margin that it would actually really matter in the long run. Dogecoin and XRP are both really low. And you compare that to Ethereum, you compare that to Bitcoin, it's a huge difference. Both of them have that advantage. Remember, everyone seems to be forgetting this. Tesla literally said through Elon Musk that they are planning to look at cryptocurrencies with less than 1% of the energy use of Bitcoin. Meaning XRP and Doge could both be on that list. We're looking at the top 10 most likely here because I doubt they'll go below that. It's a little bit too risky. At least it's not mainstream enough, I guess you could say. So they'll probably end up, of course, accepting USDT, Tether, because why the heck not? That's easy. I mean, every company should be accepting that at this point. What are you waiting for? But when it comes to XRP and Dogecoin specifically, I think those both have huge potential there. Binance Coin, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Binance Coin is such a weird one to look at because it's tied directly to an exchange. You don't know what the heck is going on with it into the future because so much of that is tied to the success of Binance. If Binance starts to lose a huge percentage of its share of the amount of people buying cryptocurrency, which could absolutely happen as more and other exchanges start to offer higher rates or better rates when it comes to staking, if they start to offer us a more seamless experience, more integrations with being able to spend it, then Binance could lose a percentage of that market cap. And we could see Dogecoin, which is already only approximately $2 billion away from Cardano, which is in that number 4 spot, technically number 3 if you don't count Tether, which we shouldn't count Tether, especially right now, because during the dip, a lot of people are selling whatever cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or Dogecoin, whatever, and then buying Tether instead. So Tether, artificially high market cap just simply based on that right now. And it doesn't even really matter anyway, because all it is, it's basically just a dollar. I mean, it's kind of cool because it allows you to, if you want to kind of have maybe a tax loophole there, if you can find the right system within your state. So look into that. Using Tether as a tax loophole is something everyone should be at the very least looking into to see if you can in your state or your country, depending on where you're watching from. Matt, because of your channel, I was able to pay off my fiance's ring. You are amazing. I love a Doge from Tay. That's awesome to hear. That's awesome to hear. There's nothing wrong with taking some profits. I continue to say that over and over again on my channel. Some people get mad at me for it, but the truth is investing is about making money. Yes, Dogecoin has kind of brought this aspect of having fun and community to it, but nonetheless, at the end of the day, most investments are about making money. Dogecoin has that huge step up with all the other things, but still making money is still an awesome part of the entire experience. So we're not going to forget about that ever. And so that's awesome to see. How do you feel about Doge? Doge, I do not think has really any potential to be a top crypto at all. I mean, there's really not that potential there. Can it go up? Well, of course it can. It's hard to buy right now. The way I could see Doge doing something is if it gets added on more exchanges, which is, again, another question mark. They would have to offer some kind of special advantage, like SafeMoon, who just said, okay, we'll take a huge percentage, which basically makes it almost impossible to use as a currency. I hope all currencies will either stay the same or go up steadily, but do I think Doge has a high chance of spiking? Most likely not, especially in this market right now. Now, if you ask me in a couple months from now and the market's starting to look different, then maybe I'll have a different opinion. But at this current point in time, I would not be putting money into Doge over other cryptocurrencies. I think right now, the safest thing you can do, and probably the smartest thing, is to look toward the top. Because in this market, we've seen Bitcoin actually gaining in its share of dominance over the market. It was at approximately 40%. Now it's up to 45% BTC dominance, Ethereum 17%. So that number is going up, meaning that a lot of the other smaller altcoins are taking a little bit more of a hit during this. When the future seems a little bit more glim, or whatever the word is, who cares? Whatever, you know the word I'm talking about. Gloomy? We'll just say that. We'll say gloomy. But that word, when the future seems more gloomy, then Bitcoin is going to be a little bit more stable. We also do know Bitcoin has way more money in it that has been basically burned because it's not able to be accessed, a ton of it, more so than any other cryptocurrency because it was the first. And now a lot of people know the power of crypto, and so they're smarter because they see the lessons learned from BTC, but it does have more stability in large part because of that. Matt, because your channel, I read that one. Thank you so much, though. SonicBoomToken.org is coming out for a pre-sale on Monday. I'm hoping to get in on it before it goes live. Interesting. Now, here's why I'm a huge fan of putting a small amount of money into things like that. Because why the heck not? If you do it and it goes up and you make a lot of money, then awesome, sell it. Why wouldn't you sell it at the top with something like that? If you 10x or 20x your money on a small investment like that, there's probably a decent chance that you're toward the top of the market and you should consider selling. For small ones like that don't necessarily have a ton of energy around it, that could be different though. Sonic Boom Token, maybe it actually has some specific use case. Maybe it has a good team. So maybe, just maybe, that doesn't qualify. Just based on the name, it probably does. And let's be honest. But that's still interesting. I'll take a look at it and maybe I'll throw $100 in. Because if you throw $100 in or $1,000 in and it goes up, then what do you have to lose, right? If you're in super early, you're probably not going to lose money. You probably only really have a chance of either making money or it's staying the same. For the most part, you could lose a little bit. Thanks to you, I was informed on Doge early, and I'm saving up to afford my surgery to breathe better. Okay, well that's definitely. I mean, that sucks, but it's good to hear that you're saving up for that, and I hope it's successful. Man, like seriously though, too goony crazy. I'm sorry to hear that. 40K. Jeez, what kind of surgery is that? That sounds super expensive. Vitalik already burned the majority of his coins and sent 5% to Shiba Swap for testing. Yes, that is true. So I believe. So what? We need to look into that more. I haven't. So what? How did he burn his tokens? What did he do? Is he just continuing to hold them? What did he do to burn them? I would like to see that. I think he said he burned them, but I have not heard anywhere that he actually did a specific thing to burn them. I think he just said he's going to continue to hold them, but consider them burned. He's not doing it. I guess we could probably trust him. I mean, he seems like a trustworthy dude. I don't think he's motivated by money as much because that's one of the reasons that we saw Charles Hoskinson and him, Vitalik Buterin, and that's one of the reasons they split up. They were both working on Ethereum. Then we saw him going off into Cardano with Charles. We saw, because Charles was more focused on the money, than Vitalik was. And it's kind of funny because now Mr. Buterin is, of course, significantly wealthier than Charles Hoskinson, but Charles Hoskinson is doing great too. So it's not really like a super heavy competition there because both of them are doing great. Buy a Doge truck and remove the second. That's funny. Oh, Dodge truck. Oh, I see what you're saying. Buy Dodge and remove the second D so it says Doge truck. Not a bad idea right there. I happen to be a fan of that. A good advertisement for Doge. Imagine buying an entire car just so you can remove a D. I mean, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Or you can just get a Tesla. It's the same thing. You can just put a Dogecoin onto your Tesla and you should be good to go. You should be good to go at that point. As we're also seeing Ginny Talk coming out and saying how Dogecoin could reach a $1 trillion market cap. And part of that is because of Elon Musk. Part of that is also simply because of the fact that it's one of the best cryptocurrencies out there. So shout out for this article. I didn't want to, cover too much into it because we already talk about most of the stuff here on the channel, but still it's awesome to see. So I just want to give it a quick shout out there as we're also seeing Wall Street and Main Street financial firms embracing Dogecoin. Now it's crashing. And so this article coming out, crashing. That's an interesting word there. And yes, we'll use it sometimes to describe a dip in the market. But overall, when you look at it, yes, it's down from approximately 60,000 or 65,000 in that range at its all-time high. I think it was, 66,000 where it was at its very peak. Let's actually double check on that. What was Bitcoin at its very highest point? I think it was around there. It was something like that. Let's just on CoinDesk, we can actually see right here. Yeah, so 64,829. So around 65,000. That was the high point all time when it comes to Bitcoin. And now it's down to 38,000. So pretty dang big, but not to that 50% level at this current point in time. Yes, it was lower earlier in the week, but at 38,000, the amount of dippage that we've seen with it, I don't think that's enough to really say that it's time for institutions to give up on it. Not even close. In fact, at this point in time, I think this is going to be when we start to see more institutions coming in and supporting it. Because at this price, they're going to look at that and say, maybe we could get something that's going to be worth significantly more in the future at a lower price. But what institutions continue to overlook again and again and again is the altcoins. Altcoins are really the opportunity right now to still get rich, even now. If you got in early, of course, everyone knows that with anything, you can get rich, right? But now we're looking at the future starting from today, not starting from 30 days ago or 60 days ago or 90 days ago or last year. We want to see what's happening in the future. And altcoins, I think, provide the best opportunities and the only opportunities really in the crypto market to actually still get rich. Will Bitcoin make you rich? Most likely, you're not going to see that happening anytime soon, at least not percentage-wise. Anything close to what you can see from altcoins. Now, if Bitcoin does go up to around 100,000, 200,000, then at that point, that's a 4x approximately from that $50,000. I mean, I guess $38,000. So it's a little bit more than 4x. So it's about a 5x. But it's not nothing compared to a potential 10 or 20x from coins like Dogecoin. And even though we're sometimes upset with Cardano still has that same potential as well. So I don't think if you're looking to get rich, you should be looking toward the top. You should be looking toward the bottom or toward the middle, or really, I guess, toward the middle of that top range. So between 1 and 50, if you're looking toward the middle of that, 1 through 5 minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So basically 3 through 5, 3 through 10, that range, that's where we can see a lot of the best opportunities that still have stability and less risk, but also have high upside. If you're going further down than that, then you really are at the risky part of it. So it's not just that though. We're also seeing some negative stories coming out too. So we're seeing positive and negative, a combination of both. 32 million stolen as crypto project DeFi 100 pulls the rug. And this right here starts to get into my point that I just made, which is why if you start to go down the list, the risk level goes up significantly. DeFi 100, they took approximately 32 million out and just completely pulled the rug on the investors and even publicly bragged that they had scammed them, the people who tried to get in on this project. And so that's why you got to be careful and you got to continue to look at these. It's difficult to buy. So you actually have to be more advanced when it comes to your level of knowledge of cryptocurrency to actually even access these in the first place, which I think is a good thing. Right now, at least, when it comes to super small ones, because that means you do kind of have enough experience to know generally if this is happening or not. But I hope the SEC and the government doesn't try to come in and stop cryptocurrency altogether because of a few things like this. People are going to learn. It's going to continue to get more exposure. We will call out things like this. Be careful if you do know that someone has a large percentage of a coin. There's many coins like that I can name right now, including SafeMoon, where we see the people owning a large percentage of it toward the top. You got to be careful with that. And keep in mind, I hope SafeMoon does go up. I hope they don't pull the rug on it. Is it risky though? Yes, of course it is. Of course it is. It's one of the most risky ones out there. It's not safe at all. Not even close. Shiba Inu as well. So we've already talked about that a little bit. Pedro, definitely go back and check the part where we talked about Shiba Inu. We talked a lot about that. Maybe a little bit too much actually. Wall Street and Main Street financial firms embrace Bitcoin. Now it's crashing. No. That's an article that definitely leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I mean, there's no question about that. But here, Papa John's is giving away 10,000 slices of pizza to celebrate Bitcoin Pizza Day. The fast food chain explained the reason behind the giveaway. If you haven't heard the story yet, someone bought a pizza with 10,000 Bitcoin. Think about how much money that's worth. That was the first purchase that was recorded with Bitcoin. So much money now compared to what it was, but it's still kind of silly to think about because anything you purchased at that point in time, you could have bought Bitcoin instead. Everyone bought a 10,000 Bitcoin pizza. If you bought a pizza at the point in time when Bitcoin had that value, you bought a 10,000 pizza because you chose to buy that instead of Bitcoin. Kind of. I mean, you could also argue, okay, well, you didn't know about it. You didn't have access to it. All those things are true too. But I just think that's one interesting perspective, another funny way to look at it. As we're seeing a huge check coming in. Wow. I'm not advanced, LOL, holding my 150k Doge to the moon. JD Berea, we are moving you up to the advanced level because that's a massive chat coming in. Oh my gosh. JD Berea coming in with the chat, holding your 150k Doge to the moon. I like the sound of that. One-way ticket to the moon. If you don't get on the train, you may in fact miss it. The next stop is Lunar Station. That's what we want to see happening. Media mogul Barry Diller says cryptocurrencies are a con. Barry Diller. Barry, why don't you go back to the bush you were picked from Barry Diller. I don't know. I mean, where does he get off? This is a picture of him. I mean, you can tell he looks like a Monopoly piece. I try not to ever go on appearance, but I couldn't resist. I mean, he does. I'm sorry, Barry. Okay, I take that back, Barry. We'll actually roast you on a more higher plane. We won't go to the physical stuff. Barry coming in and roasting cryptocurrency, and the reason why is because the first time he made an investment was all the way back in the very first wheel. So, you know, he's used to investing in simple things like that. All the way back when he invested in the wheel. I mean, it was a good investment. It paid off pretty dang well. But I think he should stick to investments like that and kind of stay away from the newfangled stuff if he doesn't want to do the research first and actually understand that it will make the world a better place. That it will prevent governments from doing things to the citizens in terms of making the value of their currency go way too inflated. It has so many advantages to help people all around the world, and a lot of people don't even realize. People think, okay, just the US, what about all the other countries that can benefit massively from this? There's so many, US included, but especially in places like Venezuela, that could have been hugely helpful in preventing what happened there, with a lot of the prices just surging like crazy because of some of the policies that were implemented from the government, not by the people, by the government. We got to make sure to hold the governments accountable. If we're not, then we are failing. If people didn't buy pizza with Bitcoin, would it be what it is? And that's another thing too. If he didn't make the Bitcoin purchase of the pizza, would Bitcoin then be where it is today? Probably not. So that's another thing to think about. At some point, a first purchase had to be made. So I don't think there's really any regrets at all there. I mean, maybe some, but I don't think there should be. There shouldn't be any regret. Hey Matt, I love the content. Is it possible you could check out Okta? They have licensing partners with Disney, Star Wars, Nintendo, and many others. You know, I'll check it out after the show. There's no reason not to. I'm always open to looking at new cryptocurrency opportunities because we're not dumb here. We're going to find opportunities. Yes, we love Dogecoin, but if we're only focusing on that, then we're going to miss a lot of other opportunities in the market. Diversification of portfolio is, of course, the way to go. If you only have one crypto, that's a no. It's not the way to go. You want to make sure you have more than one. But yeah, I do appreciate the chat, though, coming in, Eddie. Much love for that. Barry and Eddie on the opposite side. Charles Hoskinson just tweeted, here's a blast from the past. I don't know. I guess so. Think about how many notifications. Matt gets so many notifications per day from Twitter. It's crazy because I have notifications on for every single top finance Twitter account, pretty much every single crypto account. So that's one of the reasons we get so fast news out, because I see the notification instantly. I can come on and let everyone know whether it's a live or a video. So make sure you're subscribing with the notifications on, so I can then give you that advantage that I have by putting in an insane amount of time, way too much time probably, but you know what, it is what it is. I love this job. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else, and that's really the truth, because it's awesome, and it's just a lot of fun. I'm Matt Wallace. This is Final Stand, and I will see you in the next video.